All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
Well, I got a burn in my saddle.
We talk, you listen.
Somebody that's going to take an innocent life is not mentally insane?
You know them.
Time to nut up or shut up.
You love to hate them.
It's the Denton and Sasquatch Show.
Can I bring my AR-15 next time?
Sure.
Yes.
This place is half talk show, half weird daycare. I love it.
You can't handle the truth.
Hello and welcome once again to the Denton and Sasquatch Show, coming to you from both California and Alabama. My name is Sasquatch. I live in California. And Denton, he lives in, Alabama? Is that what I was going to say? I almost said Santa Monica. I don't know why.
Yes, I live in Alabama.
That's right.
And this show is brought to you by the, actually it's allowed to be brought to you by the commie idiots in what they say.
Well, thank you, commie idiots.
Yes, that was my NPR voice. How did it work?
Sounded pretty good. I think you got a future.
Great. I got a fever?
Future.
A future. Oh, with NPR. Awesome. All I have to do is read some books by Karl Marx and Vladimir Lenin and that kind of stuff, and I'll fit right in. Hey, look here. You got guns, don't you?
I can neither confirm nor deny. No, yes. Actually, I do have guns.
All right. Is Kamala Harris one of yours?
Camel Toe Harris? Yeah, I know her.
Well, look here. Everybody vote for Camel Toe Harris because she says, I'll take executive action if Congress doesn't pass gun legislation in the first 100 days.
This is the same woman that a week ago was telling everybody that she's a gun owner?
Well, it's okay for her to be a gun owner.
Oh, well, that's true.
Yeah, the sweaty peasants, no, we can't have guns. Anyway, during a town hall on CNN on Monday, 2020, and this is what was it? This is, I guess, what is the date today?
23rd, day after Earth Day.
Okay, so 22nd. Yeah, anyway, today's Tuesday.
Yes.
Yesterday. All right, great. Sorry, everybody. I'm getting old. She vowed to that if Congress doesn't pass gun legislation within the first 100 days of her administration, she will take executive action. Harris said, upon being elected, I will give the United States Congress 100 days to get their act together and have the courage to pass reasonable gun safety laws, and if they fail to do it, I will take executive action. But I love that. She is thinking about our safety.
Yes, she is. Real quick, though, I don't think she's going to win, but let's say she does. I just have, sort of a public announcement or public service message for all of the Democrats running with all their crazy ideas. And Kamala with this one, you do realize that you showed us how to do it, right? You taught us how to hold things up in court forever because that's what you've done with Trump. Do you think that that's not going to happen to you if you do this through executive action or order?
Well, yeah, I would like to think it would.
Well,
I think it would happen, but
the NRA better get on it or they ain't getting no more of my money.
Yeah, well, same here. Well, she continues. And specifically, what I will do is put in place a requirement that for anyone who sells more than 5 guns a year, they are required to do background checks when they sell those guns. Man, I got friends that sell 10, 20 guns a year. They can't help it. They buy guns. Oh, look at what I got. They'll sell you and everything. They'll shoot it once, and they'll sell it and get something else. I think it's a disease. Okay, I get my guns and I don't let go of them for the most part, and I don't name them. I'm just kidding about that. But I know people that are just normal people, but they buy and sell guns like other people do baseball cards and whatnot.
Well, think about it. If a presidential candidate came out and said, I'm going to pass a law that says you can only buy 5 pairs of shoes a year, and if you want to buy more, you have to go through a federal background check. I mean, whose damn business is it how many shoes I buy? Same goes for guns.
Well, more so guns because that's protected by the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Hey, shoes ain't even got that kind of protection.
Very true. Good thing Imelda Marcos never came here.
No doubt. Hey, Eric Swalwell, where is that little individual from?
Oh, he's up near San Francisco, the great Democratic utopia.
Oh, for crying out loud. It seems like all stupidity comes from California. Almost.
A lot of it, yes.
On April 4th, Breitbart News quoted, and yes, my information is all from Breitbart News, quoted Swalwell saying, "We must ban and buy back assault weapons." On April 8th, he made it clear that he believes there are 15 million assault weapons and he wants every one of them surrendered.
Well, that's not very nice.
I don't think so either. Well, he just keeps on. Swalwell is digging in by stressing that the assault weapons ban and buyback plan is not negotiable. He tweeted, "No more negotiating down on gun safety. Mass shooting after mass shooting, and Washington does nothing. Yet Americans know what we should do. Be bold. Ban and buyback of the assault weapons, background checks, gang violence prevention programs."
Well, I do agree with him. Non-negotiable. Gun rights. Non-negotiable. Sorry.
Period. Yeah, he's a loose cannon. You guys got loose cannons, but guess what? You're not the only one.
Well, you know what, though? But before we move on, if he can find me somewhere in the Constitution where it says that gun buyback shall not be infringed, I will vote for him in a heartbeat. But since it doesn't say that, except about the Second Amendment, then he's got no leg to stand on.
Well, I don't have a problem with him saying, okay, gun buyback program. Well, I'll take that back. Yes, I do, because he's using tax dollars to pay for the guns.
Yeah.
So, but if he wanted to use his own money, buy guns from people who want to sell them and then destroy them, hey, okay.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I've got no problem. But look here. New Jersey's Democrat governor is wanting to move to California.
Well, the places are almost interchangeable.
Well, you have a point there. But he's pushing for a $550 fee to own and carry a gun. The New York Times reports that Murphy desired increases in fees is 20 times as much as the fees are today. Currently, a firearm identification card costs $5, while a permit to own a firearm is $2. A permit to own a firearm. Okay, this Alabamian is going, I don't give a shit if it's $1. What? A penny. I'm not giving you a penny to exercise. No. Anyway, a permit to carry a gun is $20. Murphy's proposal would raise the cost to a point where the firearm identification card would be $100, an owner's permit would be $50, and a carry permit would be $400.
Well, that's pretty much how it is in California already. I mean, they've parsed it out so much that it doesn't look quite like that, but I mean, all the hoops you have to jump through and everybody you have to give money to while jumping through those hoops, it comes out to about $500.
So you have to have a good job, or what's up with this? What about the people who can't afford this kind of crap? They don't have the right to protect themselves?
Well, yeah. I mean, they're basically saying the minorities and the poor should not be able to protect themselves.
Boy, that sounds reminiscent of decades ago when gun control laws first come out to make sure the blacks didn't have weapons.
Yes, and you know what? Denton and I were speaking about this very thing on the show, and I asked him about it, and he wasn't sure, so I went and looked it up. Let me see what I got here. Yeah, this is in the 1920s and 30s. Gun laws were tainted by prejudice in response to urban gun violence often associated with immigrants, especially those from Italy. Carl Frederick helped draft model legislation to restrict concealed carry of firearms in public. States Frederick's model law recommended should only allow concealed carry by people with a license, and those licenses should be restricted to, air quotes, suitable people, another air quote, with proper reason for carrying a gun in public. So, yeah, they've tried this before.
No, I don't like it. I don't like it. Americans are Americans. I don't care what color you are. We're not going to say, but they're doing it. They're doing it again. In California, they're doing it. And New Jersey is wanting to do it. Look here, people. Stop making it where poor can't carry weapons, can't afford to even buy a weapon. This is moronic. Read your Constitution. It's not that difficult. Look, anyway. But look here, there's a reason why all this is happening. and it's going to be perpetuated. And I guess it started in California, or excuse me, Colorado, but it's going to carry on to the federal level if your girl Kamala is hired to be the president. Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris on Saturday called for legalization of marijuana at the federal level for purpose of, check this out, restoring justice. You're wondering, how is that going to restore justice?
Yes, please explain this to me.
Well, I'll let her words speak for her. This is her twat. Sorry.
Please do not talk about her twat.
It's time we legalize marijuana at the federal level and restore justice to our communities. Communities of color have been disproportionately impacted by the war on drugs. We must reverse this trend. Okay. So let's think about that for a minute.
Well, I mean, she's saying there seems to be a problem with pot in the minority communities?
Yes.
Well, maybe that's a problem they should look into.
She is saying more people of color smoke pot, buy pot, get caught with pot than white folks.
Well, that's a stereotype.
But, well, I didn't make it. Harris made it.
How dare...
She's your girl, not mine.
I know. How dare her make a racial stereotype?
Yeah. So, but anyway, this show is being brought to you by a bunch of commies and one commie pot smoker.
Well, I agree with her that pot should be legalized. I don't care if people smoke pot, as long as they don't do it and hurt other people. I mean, just like alcohol, you shouldn't be able to drive with it. You shouldn't be able to operate a forklift with it. But it has nothing to do with... Well, and here's another piece of the puzzle, too. They want to say, okay, you want to smoke pot, you're not allowed to own a gun. Well, why not? I can understand the law saying you cannot carry your firearm while you're high, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to own one, have one at home. Yeah,
but that's on the 4473. I wonder if they'll change that. Or are they going to make us all liars?
Well, because it asks you about pot use?
Yeah. Do you do drugs? Ever done drugs? Are you thinking about doing drugs? Did your mother do drugs? Will your grandchildren do drugs?
Well, yeah, they'd have to change that. I mean, they would.
I don't know if they would or not.
One would think.
Well, they ask, I don't know what they ask. It's been a few months since I bought a weapon, so I don't know what is asked in the 4473. I do remember it about drugs. Would they still consider it drugs is the question right there.
That is a good question. I mean, technically it is... Well, no, technically it's a plant.
Yeah.
So,
now, I would say alcohol is closer to a drug than marijuana.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It just asks you, are you a booze head?
Yeah.
Do you have problems with whatever? So if they did that, then I wouldn't have a problem with it.
I don't have a problem. I drink, I get drunk, I fall down, no problem.
None at all. Just don't do it with a weapon that may go off and shoot you in the buttocks.
No.
But anyway, yeah, this is her deal here. And I agree with you. I don't care if marijuana's legalized. People smoke it now. What difference does it make? As a matter of fact, if you legalize it, we grow it here. It's not taxed to the point where illicit marijuana is cheaper. Guess what? You're kicking the Mexican cartels in the teeth.
Well, you know what? And this also proves a very good point. I don't smoke pot. Not because I'm against it. It's just it just makes me tired. So it's really not anything I'm looking forward to doing. But I totally lost my train of thought. Maybe I'm smoking pot.
It's because you smoke pot.
No, let me see if I can get this back. I totally lost it. Never mind. Go on.
Okay. Anyway. All right. This is it for me until you get done, and then I've got another one. I'm helping the pothead out here.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I want to do some California news.
First say dude.
Dude, totally going to do some California news.
Bring it.
Brah. And this kind of fits into what, everything that you just had. I know that people around the country listen to this show. Anybody in California already knows what I'm about to say. But I'm curious what people hear about California. Like, do you hear good stuff? Do you hear bad stuff? Because it's bad here.
Well, the vacation commercials I see all the time here in Alabama trying to get us to go to California are wonderful. You guys are all beautiful, all toned and tanned, and you do crazy things like that water ski thing where you lift up out of the water and it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can do all that stuff here. It costs you quite a bit of money to do it all, but well, see, the thing is, California is beautiful scenically.
It is.
Except for, I mean, there's parts that look like third world S-holes, but and it seems to be that they're growing every day. But just let me go on here. I'm kind of stumbling over my own words. All right, when you think of law enforcement, what do you think of for the most part?
Cops with guns.
Yes, but the peacekeepers, law enforcement, they're the good guys for the most part.
Yeah, well, I didn't say that it's a bad thing. It's just cops with guns.
Yeah, okay. Well, you have some trouble, you call the police. Well, the watchdog panel that oversees the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department asked the county's Inspector General today to conduct an inquiry into secret deputy cliques that have proliferated for years and has been implicated in violence against jail inmates and harassment of fellow deputies. Yes, we have gangs in our police department.
Guess what? It's not just you guys.
Oh, I'm sure it's not. I mean, these guys have their own tattoos, their own little buddies to hang out with, but it's finally good that somebody's asking for an oversight commission to actually look into it. But yeah, this is a real dangerous thing.
It'll be hard to catch. I mean, because you're looking for something. It's like Quicksilver. When you go to mash on it, it spreads out.
Yeah.
Which nobody should do that because Quicksilver is mercury and it'll absorb into your system. It's bad for you, but you get the point.
Well, and there was a situation here a few years ago. It was around Christmas time, and I guess there were some cops in a bar, off duty, but celebrating, Christmas, and it was one of these little clique gangs. Well, guess who came into the bar? Another clique gang of cops. Well, they got into it. And started talking smack because everybody was drinking a little bit, ended up in the parking lot, and one of them shot another one.
Okay, so when one cop gang and another cop gang get into fighting and shooting, who do you call? do you call the outlaws? Do you call the another biker gang or something to come break it up?
I don't know. I mean, it kind of reminds me of the movie Super Troopers, except that's funny. This is real life where they're actually killing each other.
That was on TV a couple nights ago.
That's a great movie. All right. We've also talked about other problems here. We've got tons of fires. Not currently, but we have had in the past. I mean, millions of dollars in damage. And, of course, all that smoke is causing more global warming. And we also have homeless that tend to start a lot of these fires. Well, a Good Samaritan is being hailed as a hero for stopping a crazy man right in his tracks before he could start a huge brush fire. Richard Lazenby told NBC4 he saw a man thought to be setting fires in the Sepulveda Pass on Sunday. I said, "What the F are you doing?" He turns around and looks at me. "I'm effing destroying everything," the homeless man said. Lazenby says the fear of another massive wildfire forced him to take action. "We stumbled over into the brush on the side, and I finally got on top of him, pinned his arms down, and sat on him until police arrived." Now, when I heard this story, I thought, that's awesome that this guy did this, because you got this crazy guy with matches just deciding he's going to light everything up. But then I thought, well, now the homeless guy is going to get the NAACP or somebody, and they're going to sue the crap out of this guy for holding him against his will.
Well, that could happen in crazy states.
Yes, it could, but that's California for you, so it probably will happen. Now, this last California story I have here, it's a fun one. This happened, I guess it was in Anaheim, which Anaheim is where I grew up. I don't live there anymore, but I currently work there, so I know the area, and yeah. Also, where the Angels are, baseball team. Mm-hmm. But this story is a perfect reason why these gun control people should be shot. Not shot. I was going to say shot down, but that's a bad choice of words. Should just take a back seat and knock it off with the gun control stuff. An Anaheim man was arrested Wednesday after going on a random 10-minute crime spree that left 2 women hospitalized. Authorities say James Carlos Melendez got into a fight at a near Salvation Army around 5 p.m., then fled to an apartment nearby. After being confronted by a resident, he jumped into the backyard of houses across the street where he smashed a back window and made his way inside the home that was occupied by a mother and her 2 daughters. Now, if this lady had a gun and it was accessible to her, she could have stopped this guy right then. But she didn't. Melendez grabbed a knife off the kitchen counter and started chasing the mother, catching up with her as she tripped, then stabbed her multiple times, officials said. A group of people in a BMW drove by as Melendez was stabbing the victim and got out to help. Melendez then began chasing the Good Samaritans with the knife as they fled on foot. Then he jumped in their car and stole it. He allegedly swerved in and out of oncoming traffic, then drove onto a curb and struck a woman in her 50s walking along the sidewalk, critically injuring her.
You know, that hurts.
What, getting hit by a car?
No, being struck in your 50s.
Oh, yeah, I can only imagine.
That's a very sensitive spot.
Yes, it is. So, yeah, he hit her and then collided with another vehicle. The suspect ran to a nearby mobile home lot and tried to break into more residents, where he failed miserably. Melendez then moved to the street again, where he tried to carjack multiple drivers. Deputies finally arrived to make the arrest just before a passing bicyclist pepper sprayed the suspect. So I guess he gave up after he got pepper sprayed, but I mean...
Okay, there's a difference between y'all's trailer parks and our trailer parks. Nobody around here would ever try to break into a trailer in a trailer park around here. You might as well just put the gun to your own head.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure there's a shotgun waiting for you.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, this guy just goes on a crazy rampage for 10 minutes before the cops even get there and ends up stabbing a woman, hitting a woman with a car, whatever else he did. I mean, smashed up a bunch of stuff, terrorized a bunch of people. So it just goes to show, you got to protect yourself because the cops are only about 10 minutes away.
Cattle rape, people stampeded.
And if you ever want to, if you think, well, 10 minutes isn't that long, go sit down somewhere and set a stopwatch for 10 minutes and just do nothing. And it will seem like an eternity.
Have you ever been in a fist fight?
Plenty of times.
Yeah, same here. Could you imagine a 10-minute long fist fight?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a fallacy. You watch these movies and they're fighting, for 30 minutes straight. It's like, no, most fist fights are over in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Because everybody's winded.
You've got to continue this fist fight for 10 minutes. If you've never been in a fist fight, then you have no idea what we're talking about. Trust me, there's no 10-minute fist fights. But in order to save your life, you've got to continue to fight for 10 minutes until the cops get there.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't going to happen. Yeah, that whole anti-gun thing is absolutely insane. And were those the mother and the daughter, were they poor people? They couldn't afford the guns and everything?
Well, most likely, but yeah, it doesn't really say. But
then she should sue Gavin Newsom.
I can agree with that.
Violated her right to keep and bear arms to protect her and her daughter and put them in danger. And this is what happened. She was stabbed multiple times and everybody else was hurt. Mayhem, carnage.
Well,
because the state government will not makes it unreasonable for them to be able to keep weapons.
Well, and this all sort of coalesces into the same sort of deal from our government here in California. They're letting inmates out because the prisons are overcrowded. These people are dangerous, but they still let them out. Most of them have no place to go, so they become homeless. Most of them don't care about gun laws, so you can pass all the gun laws you want. If they get their hands on a gun, they're going to do whatever they want, or in this case, a knife. But, I mean, it's all these same laws. They're putting all these laws on the books, and these guys don't follow the laws. Absolutely
not. And we know the communists want us to be disarmed. The globalists want us to be disarmed. Any bad guy you can think of wants us to be disarmed because a disarmed public, well, we're nothing but chattel property.
Yep.
Speaking of which, did you know that 100% of Republicans are against communism?
Okay, that's a good start.
Yeah, it's a lie. Sorry. A new Morning Consult poll shows that Medicare for All falls just short of a majority support. That would be 47%. but that 31% of Republicans support the policy, which is championed by the socialist Senator Bernie Sanders, independent from Vermont, and other 2020 Democrat candidates. Can you imagine that? 31% of the Republicans in this poll said, I'm good with that. The poll, which surveyed 6,600 adults and has a margin of error of 1%, showed broad support. Majorities support, this is a retarded sentence, error of 1% showed broad majorities support some form of federal health insurance that would be available to all Americans, though support was higher for policies that would be optional. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's like they got a taste of Obamacare, and now they're like, oh, hey, I can get free stuff. Okay.
Obamacare was more expensive. I mean, because of Obamacare, people couldn't afford insurance anymore. Yeah, it was good for the totally poor.
Well, yeah, it forced you to take it, pretty much.
Yeah, but you already had Medicaid.
Well, yeah, but if Obamacare's coming along and jacking yours up, so what are you going to do? You're like, oh, well, the Obamacare's cheaper. I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, but how many times does that work? Usually, people who had insurance couldn't afford insurance anymore. Obamacare just meant you have to have insurance. Okay, so if you have you can't pay for it. Well, you didn't pay anything. But if you have any money, okay, bam, now you've got to pay more money for insurance. Now you can't afford it. So what do? You drop out, and you're waiting for the fees, the fines that's going to hit you. Mm-hmm. Okay, it was bad all around. It still is. Now it's just optional. Okay, so this is the thing about this is it shows that we are losing the culture war. We're losing the economic war. We're losing the war for our country because 31% of the Republicans support Medicare for all. Now, this is leading into a conversation I'd like to have tomorrow about Medicare and Social Security about to go under. And if y'all want to listen to this, stick around for tomorrow night, which you probably won't listen to until the next day because we kind of do it late at night. I understand that. But we're in a mess. When 31% of Republicans out there, just your usual voting Republicans, support Medicare for all, and when you know a bunch of folks on the other side support it, it's up to 47%. These, what we consider retards, are running on this, and they're being supported by almost half the country who don't understand economics. Now, how is it if Social Security and Medicare are about to go under? When I say go under, I mean, it's going to cost people, Social Security recipients are going to get less, and Medicare recipients are going to pay more and get less. How are you going to do it for the whole country? But this is kind of a trailer in for tomorrow. I don't want to go too in-depth in it. How long have we been on the road here?
27 minutes.
Not bad. Just about hit the 30-minute mark. We're getting better at this. Do you have any funny news?
I thought my California news was funny.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if you saw that video. If you haven't seen the video, I guess YouTube Easter Bunny fist fight.
I have not.
Oh, it's a hoot. Somebody dressed up an Easter Bunny gets in a fist fight with somebody else. It's hilarious. You're watching the Easter Bunny beat the crap out of somebody. You know it's not a real bunny, but still, just the costume beating the crap out. It was great.
Wait. You're telling
Maybe I have issues. I don't know.
You're telling me the Easter Bunny isn't real?
Well, I don't know. This one wasn't. This was a man inside because later on they unmasked and they showed who it really was.
Was it like Scooby-Doo where they pull it off?
Zoinks!
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
By the way, if you want to contact us, you can do that. BentonandSassShow@gmail.com, or if you want to hang out where we go to is prepperforums.net, or you can go to our website, which we never go to because, quite frankly, WordPress changed things on me and I don't even know how to use it anymore. And that's I don't even know anymore. It doesn't matter. Right. Have you gone to our website? Have you messed with it?
No.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah. I understood how it worked, and then all of a sudden I did an update, and that was the worst thing I could have ever done.
Yeah, that's kind of how they do it.
You know, they suck. Anyway, I don't think we're doomed this week, but just in case, don't drink up. Drinking's bad for you, okay? Do not drink. Drink tea. Drink Crystal Light. Can you tell I'm not drinking anymore? I'm pushing. I'm like somebody that just quit smoking.
Ruh-roh.
But anyway, prepare. That's all I got to say is prepare. And we'll see you tomorrow night. Y'all have a good night.
Zoinks.
Dooby-dooby-doo, where are you? We got some work to do now. Scooby-dooby-doo, where are you? We need some help from you now. Come on, Scooby-Doo, I see you, pretending you got a sliver. You're not fooling me, 'cause I can see